Hi friends, and welcome back. We're so glad that you could join us today. If you're new, my name's Alicia Verwee and you're here at EDGEucating, where our job is to keep you on the cutting edge of education. And today we are bringing you a little bit different type of video than what we normally do. I'm going to do the first video today is going to give you the 5 top recommended electronic items for teachers. So the top 5 that are requested by teachers for their classroom. And then what I'm going to do is I've broken each item into the top 5 for that category and done a separate video for those items. So this is going to be a multi-series thing, but today's video is going to give you the top 5, and then I'm going to roll out those additional. So if you're interested in the top 5 in one of those categories, you can go and take a look at that video. They'll all be linked down below this one, and I give you the model numbers and links to those specific items within those videos as well. So we're going to go ahead and jump into today's video on the top 5 most recommended electronic items for teachers in their classroom. So I have a few housekeeping items that I need for you to take care of for me before we jump in. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure and hit that like button. Make sure and share the video with fellow educators or others that you think could benefit. Make sure and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so that you're notified every time we post a new video. We don't want you to miss out. That being said, we are going to jump into the top 5 requested items for electronics in teacher classrooms. And just so you know, I did a lot of vetting process for this video. I've been working on this for the last about 2 months, putting things out on social media, talking to fellow educators, researching products to really make sure that I gave you a really well-vetted list for today's video. So number 1 on our list of top recommended items are document cameras. So teachers are still requesting document cameras on a routine basis. This is something that is great for demonstration purposes with educators. You know, if you're having to demonstrate how to do a math problem, if you're having to demonstrate, how to write a letter for younger grades, those kind of things, document cameras are great. Now, I want to bring up something that you may not realize in terms of document cameras. We've had this big shift. A lot of educators are still doing remote learning or distance learning or hybrid kind of scenarios. You may not realize that document cameras can do dual purpose as well. So I have several on the list for you that are very highly rated, that are great also as like a webcam type benefit. So you may not need 2 things if you have a computer or a device that doesn't have a webcam and you need that, and you also need a document camera. Take a look at some of the ones that we have because they do serve dual purpose. You can also do a lot of cool things with document cameras like stop motion and that kind of stuff. So check out our list. Again, we have a video on the top 5 document cameras. So make sure and check that out if you're in the market for one. Okay, number 2 on our list of the top requested items from teachers is laminators. Now, I had to do a lot of research on this because I personally am not a laminator. Just not my thing. I know it's big among teachers. Not that I never laminated, but I never did enough of a volume to really feel the need to have my own laminator. So I always just used what we had at the school. But I know tons of teacher friends, probably 80 to 90% of my teacher friends all had their own personal laminators. So that being said, this came up as a hot item requested by teachers. So I've put together a list of the top 5 laminators recommended. And guys, these spread the gamut. So, I mean, you could be looking anywhere from $25 to over $100, just depending on what kind of volume you do and what your needs are. So I put together the top 5 recommended and vetted those for you. So if you're in the market for a laminator, make sure and check that out to see which one is going to suit your needs best. Okay? All right, so number 3 on our teacher recommendations or request, I should say, is pencil sharpeners, electric pencil sharpeners. And I'll tell you, I was really honestly shocked that this was all the way down at number 3. In my opinion, this would be number 1 or number 2. But nonetheless, it made it on the list at number 3. And I have spent a ton of time vetting electric pencil sharpeners. Now, if you are an educator, you know this is probably the number 1 most frustrating thing to deal with in the classroom is pencil sharpeners. They aren't cheap. I mean, the cheapest electric ones are almost $30 this day and age. And honestly, they're garbage. I mean, if you're spending anything less than $30, you're going to be lucky if it makes through the year. And you know that as an educator. So I have done a lot of vetting and sourcing some great pencil sharpeners for you. One of them is one that I have personally used in my own classroom and had it for roughly 5 years. So if you're in the market for pencil sharpeners, please take a look at the video that I did on the top 5 suggested pencil sharpeners, electric pencil sharpeners for your classroom. So if you're in the market for that, check that video out. You should find it very useful. Okay, moving on down the list, number 4. Number 4 is probably one of my most personal favorite gadgets. It's a label maker. I am the label queen. I put labels on everything. Everything at my house, everything at school, everything has a label. So that being said, I definitely would say I'm probably one of the experts on label makers. I've had quite a number of them and use them for all sorts of purposes. Again, I made an entire video on the top 5 label makers recommended for teachers. So check that out if you're in the market for a label maker and you're trying to make the decision on the one that is best for you. And guys, I really do believe, and I say this all the time, as you're shopping these items, take a look at what exactly you need the item to do. Know that before you start shopping, because again, I'm real big on spending those dollars wisely, right? Making sure that we aren't wasting the little bit of funds that we get for our classrooms. So make sure that you know what you need. Don't overpay for things that you will never use. So know what features that you're looking for, and then find the item that is going to best suit that for you. Okay? So that's just a big suggestion before you jump into this, because as you start to look at all of these items on the list, you're going to find out really quickly that there's a huge price differential. And there's no need to be on the top end of that price differential if you don't need to be there. Other than pencil sharpeners, which, a pencil sharpener is a pencil sharpener. In the sense that they're all going to do the same thing. There's not really a big difference in features. Now, there are in a few of them where you can do the different size holes. So if you're going to do like colored pencils, you want those to be sharpened and stuff too, then that may be a factor. But it's not like laminators or document cameras where you really need to get into, and even label makers, some very specific needs that are going to drive that price up or down depending on those features. So really know what you need before you start shopping, so that you spend wisely and you don't overspend. Okay, folks, so I saved number 5 for number 5. It actually showed up ranking more like number 3. I personally chose to move it to number 5 just because of the budget. It is a large ticket item, so it's something that you are definitely going to need to consult with administrators and things like that for. Most teachers are not going to have the resources in-house to just make this as an individual purchase. So that's why I put this last on the list. It is active panels. Lots of teachers are really finding, especially with the remote learning and these types of options, that active panels are really becoming more of something that needs to be a staple item in the classroom. So if you are an administrator and you're looking at these options, really consider going this route rather than smart boards or things of that nature. And there's a lot of varieties out there. I am truly an active panel fan. Promethean has been the leader in the market for a long time. And so really, to be honest, I am only a Promethean fan when it comes to this. I just find the durability, the quality, they last forever. My last classroom, actually 2 classrooms before the one that I was in last. I had an old Promethean, one of the first like interactive whiteboards, and it was still working. We had to turn all the lights off in the room to use it, but guys, it was still working. And that thing was probably, I don't know, 13 or 14 years old. So, I mean, when I tell you Promethean takes the gamut as far as quality, I just don't find that the other manufacturers like the smart boards and that sort of stuff, they don't hold a candle to the quality and the durability that you get from Promethean. So that's why I'm a Promethean fan. I also find that Promethean is very easy to use. So from a user standpoint, it's very user friendly. Okay. So I'm going to switch over. I'm going to show you our products page. These are not ones that I'm suggesting on Amazon. The reason that I don't is you really need to find someone that can help with install, and a lot of times we'll offer trainings and things like that if you really want to get set up the right way. Robot Lab is our chosen vendor. So I'm going to hop over to our site, kind of show you what we have there to offer. You can shop there, make the choice that you find best for you, and really any of the active panel models are great products. Okay. And then the last item that is on our top requested list by teachers is down at the bottom in number 5. It actually ranked a little higher. I personally chose to put this as number 5, mainly because of the budget situation. And we are talking about active panels. So teachers are really, in this day and age of the remote learning and the distance learning and all of the LMS systems, and that learning management systems, if you don't know what LMS is, really are starting to really get, if they didn't before, they're starting to understand the need for those technology components in their classroom. And active panels really need to become like a staple item in the classroom. I did not do a top 5 for this one. You simply can take a look at our website. I'm going to jump over and show you that, and you can shop those because this really is more personal to what you need. I do recommend Promethean, hands down. I've owned several of them, and it's just the way to go. So take a look. We'll jump in. I'll show you that, and you can find the one that fits best for your needs. If you go to our website and you just choose products, you can actually do a search and just put in active panel, and it will bring up all the models that we have available through Robot Lab that we recommend. So again, these are vetted. I've had active panels in my classroom from Promethean. I have fellow teachers that have various models. A suggestion I will make if you're really shopping on a budget, and many of us are, and you're trying to sort of get away with what your cheaper option is look at a model that might be getting phased out. So when you talk to them, ask, do they have one that, they just have maybe a few left of or something of that nature? And sometimes you can get one at a cheaper price point that way. So that's just a little nugget of information for you if you're having to really pinch pennies. If you are an administrator and you're looking to put these into your classroom across the board, active panel is 100% the way to go for teachers. And these have their own computer brains. So in most cases, you don't even need the computers to set up to work with them. Now, if you want to use like the flip charts and things with Promethean, you will need to have a computer set up, but in most cases you already have that anyway. So that's not an additional expense. So I hope that you found this helpful. Shop this. If you have any trouble on our site or with any of the products I recommended, reach out to me. All right, my friends, so that brings us to the end of our top 5 electronic devices requested by teachers or technology requests by teachers in their classroom. So we hope that these technology things are going to help you make some good choices for your classroom. Don't forget that I do have those 4 additional videos for the top 5 in each of the categories: document cameras, laminators, pencil sharpeners, and label makers. So if you're in the market for any of those, make sure and check out those videos. I have them linked down below for you. You guys are fabulous. We love you. Thank you for everything you do every day. And if there's anything that we can help with, we always want to know. That being said, that's the end of our video today. Please make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe so we can keep on bringing you these great videos. And don't forget to hit the bell so that you're notified every single time we post a new one. If you have a teacher friend, share this with them. So like, share, subscribe, and we will see you here next time, my friends.